While AEDI's work has focused on research to explore the relationship between assets and educational outcomes, Dr. Elliott has also explored the landscape of the current financial aid system in an effort to inform the public conversation about, in particular, student debt and its effects on students' educational attainment and subsequent economic well-being. This is critically important as today's student debt debate mostly centers on, in our opinion, the wrong questions, asking primarily whether a student who borrows to attend college is, quote, better off than if he or she had not gone to college, or perhaps even more narrowly, how much debt a student can possibly repay. Instead, we propose that a better question is whether the student who has to borrow in order to finance college can really be said to have realized the same return on her college investment as a student who finances that same degree through asset stores. Research conducted by AEDI, as well as others' work on which we draw, increasingly suggests that the answer to this question is no, raising real concerns about the erosion of higher education's ability to function as an arbiter of equity of opportunity. Understanding loans' effects on student outcomes and highlighting the contrast between today's debt-dependent financial aid system and the asset-empowered alternative we envision is a crucial part of creating the context in which children's savings accounts can develop. Even if the advocacy efforts of the asset field and those convinced of the power of savings for college are successful, student borrowing is likely to figure prominently into the financial aid landscape for the foreseeable future. To the extent to which this reality may work against the aims of CSAs, we must seek to influence policy reforms within the student loan system as well. Additionally, understanding how loans may constrain educational achievement and mute education's effects on later financial well-being must inform policy design for CSAs, as the balances required to forestall student debt will be considerably larger than those at which assets' effects on educational outcomes are seen. Here, we look at differences between a debt-dependent and an asset-empowered approach to financial aid on 4 dimensions: college preparation, college access, college completion, and post-college financial health. In the first dimension, assets are understood as uniquely positioned to impact educational outcomes prior to college, largely through the process of institutional facilitation, whereby saving for college induces changes in children's and families' educational attitudes and expectations. Most children's savings account structures begin far earlier than other financial aid. Balances grow over time, and even more significantly, children's and families' beliefs about the likelihood of college and their own ability to achieve their educational aspirations develop as the child ages, resulting in some improvements in academic performance as well. This means that assets may be critical investments that not only place college within reach for disadvantaged students, but also make them more likely to succeed by increasing their preparation. Conversely, low-income students' loan aversion may mean that the specter of high-dollar college debt drives these disadvantaged youth to view college as unlikely for them, or even as a potentially less than wise financial investment. There is some evidence that college loans are associated positively with their primary objective, to facilitate college enrollment. However, this effect is fairly weak in most research, and there is evidence that student loans may be more effective as facilitators of enrollment when combined with scholarships and grants, precisely the types of financial aid eroding in the current landscape. Assets are strongly linked to college enrollment, however, even in relatively small doses. AEDI's research suggests that even college savings of less than $500 increase college entry for low and moderate income students, making them 3 times more likely to enroll than similar students without an account. These are tremendous advantages, realized largely through the mechanism of institutional facilitation, and give credence to the idea that assets' effects on how children and families think about and prepare for college can be leveraged into a potent force for improved outcomes. But getting students enrolled in college is only the beginning. Indeed, today there is reason to believe that we face a greater challenge in closing the college attainment gap than the enrollment differential. While research regarding the level of college debt at which negative associations with completion may be seen is still ongoing, there is clearly some evidence that even having less than the average amount of debt might reduce college graduation for some low-income students. Certainly, research suggests that student borrowing may be problematic as a tool for college completion at loan amounts far below the headline-grabbing $100,000 level. This may be because low-income students' debt aversion influences their orientation to college, because financial concerns distract students from their studies, or because of institutional effects related to how likely is their perceived graduation. What is far better understood is the difference that assets, in contrast, can make. AEDI's research finds that even college savings of less than $500 can increase college completion for low and moderate income students, such that those with accounts are 4 times more likely to graduate college than those without. When we think about the significance of post-secondary education in our economy and our democracy, though, it is clear that not even college completion is the objective of any financial aid system. Instead, we value higher education primarily for how it can improve an individual's life chances and, by extension, our collective future. Here, relatively new research by Dr. Elliott at AEDI reveals stark differences in the performance of student loans versus college savings. Households with a college degree with student debt have 63% less net worth, 40% less home equity, and 52% less retirement savings than similar households without outstanding student debt. These gaps call into question the ability of Americans to secure their own financial futures through the mechanism of a debt-financed college degree, and should be part of our conversation about why assets may make a difference. Households not required to divert part of their income to debt management are better positioned to accumulate assets, laying the foundation for greater financial health. But assets' effects on post-college financial well-being work not only through reducing debt, but also by cultivating different interactions with financial institutions and products. The evidence suggests that cultivating the habit of saving early in a child's life may alter financial decisions throughout adulthood, laying the foundation for greater financial health. When compared to those without savings accounts, young adult graduates who had savings as adolescents are twice as likely to own savings accounts and to use mainstream credit, here credit cards, and 4 times as likely to own stocks. In net, then, students funneled into an asset-empowered financial aid system, who today tend to be mostly wealthier students whose families take advantage of tax-preferred college savings vehicles, have improved educational outcomes, avoid some of the adverse effects of high-dollar debt, and sow the seeds of prosperity through positive financial engagement. Tragically and indefensibly, the very students most in need of positive interventions at all of these points along the higher education pipeline, those disadvantaged because of race, class, and parental education level, are precisely those who are instead locked into a debt-dependent financial aid system. AEDI's vision of a national children's savings account program should not be seen then as an isolated intervention, but as a reimagining of our approach to financial aid. By opening equitable access to asset accumulation structures to all American children, we can improve educational and financial outcomes and realize the potential of what has been proven to be a particularly promising path to higher education. We hope that these infographics have aided in your understanding of research about how assets can facilitate educational success and economic mobility. If you have additional questions about any of the research from the Assets and Education Initiative, we encourage you to visit our website or the sites for each of the reports that are companions to these infographic materials. Thank you for your commitment to building assets and opportunity for all children.